Bill, my friend.
Yes, Ted, my friend.
I have a feeling things are about to change in a most outstanding way.
I could not agree more.
From days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe, there stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the wolf, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the comic Relief Crusader.
Hi, everybody! You're welcome to join in on the Fridays that are Frantic, which is issue 74 on a Frantic Friday, and you've entered the Geekosphere, which is here on this channel, the Comic Relief Crusader. I am, and I want to hello to everybody out there that joined in because we made it to the end of the week, and it's time to have some laughs, have some fun, and because that's what Fridays are about, easing into the weekend to make sure we have a pleasant one. So I want to say hello to everybody that made it here today. We got Jason Fox of 540 Studios, who says hello with, well, I'm guessing that's hello in a wave, so I'll go with that. And we also got Madman number 4, who is patiently waiting. Well, you wait no longer, dear sir, because we have started the show, and we got the polar bear of legends, Snortopoopus Cuber. Hello to you, Snortopoopus Cuber. And we got our amazing wrench who has everything ready for us, Vince Womack. Heidi ho to all you nerds and nerdettes. Welcome, Vince Womack, dude of legend. And who else we got here? We got Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Hey to you, dude. Nice to see you, man. Great that you can join us today. And we also got Franco Walker, who says, please share and hit like and select live chat. That's right. And if you happen to be new here, then join in and spread the channel around and spread the love, because that's what makes this channel grow. And boy, it's actually grown in the past couple of days, so it's pretty cool. So let's see. And Steve OSTF Collections. Just PSA, Mike sucks on toes with whipped cream. Nobody should have told you that, but it's true. So, yeah, but only if the feet are clean. So, and, you know, at least vanilla whipped cream. I got my preferences. So, hello to you. And we also got DJ Play Nice. Whee! Hello to you, DJ Play Nice. Nice to see you, man. And we got our very own Pop Culture Republic, who says, hello, all. Well, hello to you, Pop Culture Republic. Nice that you can join in. And, yeah, and you know what? And DJ Play Nice, yeah. If this is your first time watching, thanks, and welcome in. Hope you hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. That's right, because if you do, you're a dirty, dirty communist. So just to let you know out there. So that being said, let's welcome everybody, because we got a special guest today. So who's going to illuminate on some things today, but also here to have some fun. So let's welcome everybody, shall we?
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Then we got the one and only one that worked in comics and actually still does work in comics and Marvel and DC and Sesame Street and Nickelodeon and MTV and a whole bunch of independent comics. Al Nickerson, how's it going, dude?
It's going very well. So, yes, do not be a dirty communist.
No, exactly. If you do, you happen to be a liberal that lives here in Canada. So, yeah. What's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for inviting me on again. That was great. Yeah, so I was just busy doing some artwork, and you reached out to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I love your show, and I'm very happy to be here virtually."
Well, I gotta give you a break from doing all the pages and all that kind of stuff. Don't want you to suffer from writer's cramp, as it were.
I'm fine, thank you. I'm a big boy.
Oh well, there we go. He's a big boy now. And speaking of big boys, we also got Tommy Bird.
Yeah. Wait. What? Wait, I've lost weight, damn you. No. Hi, everybody. Yeah. I was just singing the Ease On Down. You said ease into it, or ease on down. Remember that song from The Wiz? Was it, who was the version?
Oh, yeah.
Motown version of The Wizard of Oz. Not a bad version. I didn't hate it. I thought it was really fun.
It was pretty fun version.
Yeah. Yes. Can I say something quickly before we get in? I'll get rid of the sad news first. If anybody watched Daredevil, good episode again this week, week 3. Sadly, the gentleman, I'm going to give a spoiler. If you haven't seen it yet, close your ears for the next 10 seconds. They kill off White Tiger immediately. And so the reason why the actor himself, Camar de los Reyes, passed away. And I guess he had cancer, if I'm not mistaken, died in the filming of that. It's so sad.
That is sad.
What an amazing, he's the first guy to ever play White Tiger in that universe. And it's like, wow, he did a good job too. So it's just sad that that's why they got rid of him, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah, very sad news. But again, amazing episode. I think they're doing a good job with it. So, and he represented that character first time ever. But yeah, no, it was a powerful episode. It even makes more powerful knowing how that happens. Like, wow. So,
case in point, Marvel, do not cast people to play cat characters. There's only 7 more lives left.
Yeah,
that's a great joke, Mike. Thank you.
I know.
Right? We've heard that one before. Yeah, no, sadly, I mean, the Black Panther, we all know, a brilliant actor, and then he passed away, of course, while filming it as well. So it's just, just sad stories. But on for the greater side of news.
That's right. And that being said, we got Appion.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello, brother Bonesaw is ready. Oh,
yeah.
Bonesaw. Oh, yeah.
Ready for 2 hours of playtime?
Yeah, 2 hours of playtime. And yeah, Punisher is gonna be real pissed off when these dirty cops are killing people in his name.
Exactly.
Wearing his colors, wearing his logo. Like,
It's like, no,
got some dirty cops need cleaning up.
Exactly.
That's
right.
in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it will be.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, dirty cop wearing Punisher's armor.
Are they trying to tell us something?
But then again, they didn't show his face. Wonder if he hired Punisher honestly.
I don't know, because Punisher's in jail. Because
a bunch of cops have Punisher tattoos.
Exactly.
So they're like worshiping him like a cult leader type of thing.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, hey, we also got Wendy, the trauma warrior that just showed up. How's it going? Nice to see ya. I hope the entire trauma team is listening, because it'll be marvelous today. Nice to see ya. I hope you're doing fine. And last but not least, with the maximum effort that he puts in Pop Culture Republic.
Hey. And
how's it going,
anything Motown does is usually pretty good.
Yes, I agree.
This is true.
They did it with Last Dragon. Remember that one? That was a fun one.
Yeah, I was about to mention The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy.
Bruce
Leroy.
Bruce Leroy Jenkins.
That's where Leroy Jenkins from World of Warcraft came from.
Yeah,
Leroy Jenkins.
And the rest has become legend.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in my office pretending to do paperwork. There you go. There you go. Maximum effort.
Watching.
No, I'm guessing her boss supports that. So, because she's an extremely hard worker. So there we go. Putting no effort into nothing. Let's get into the first fun part of the show, which is
Tonight, we dive into the diseased human mind. Join me. The gray matter is warm.
So what do we got for stupid news? Well, we definitely have something stupid today, and managed to actually find something. This from the Independent, in their climate section of their newspaper. Apparently, by owning a pet, you are doing more damage to the environment than you might realize. So, truth-telling about pets can be a painful process, but cats and dogs, particularly, are having a devastating impact on the planet. My God.
Oh, give me.
Okay, I want to delve more into this one. What the hell? What's their explanation for this? Like, come
so
on.
first it was cows, and their farts are destroying,
Yeah.
humanity as a whole. Now I'm guessing they're picking on dogs and cats. Like, where's
that was
PETA?
sheep. Remember in Ireland there was sheep. They wanted to kill all the sheep too because they were too much. And yeah. So now it's cats and dogs. Yep.
There we go. Snorter Poopers, feel free to own me and we can destroy the environment. That's right.
Exactly.
I will totally support you and adopt you even there, Snort. And together we will rule the earth and the dark side. And
do it.
what happened? We lost Al. They need to
Uh-oh.
There's only one dog that's
There we go.
devastating.
Okay, we
for
got
the
him back.
planet. His
Yay.
name
There we
is
go. We got him
Cujo.
back. Yes.
Do they go into detail why this is a thing? Do they even explain this? I mean,
Do we actually need to know the reason? Because
People
I'm
just
curious.
fuck
I want
out
to
of
see
their
how
ass.
stupid of a reason. I want to see how stupid of a reason this is. I
Yeah,
really-
you know what is some mental
we got
gymnastics behind this? Because there's probably gonna
Exactly.
be some
And we got the lovely Sherry.
behind it.
Hello,
Hey,
lovely
Sherry.
Hello.
Nice to see you here. Great that you could join in. So does it really matter? Because I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, we had feminist astronomy, and remember that one? And
Yes.
we had cows and sheep are destroying the planet, and for the ridiculous reasons that it was, and now it's dogs and cats. So does there really need to be a reason?
So if you have if you have a gerbil or something, you're okay.
I suppose,
if you own a cat, that's bad. But if the same cat's like roaming around the neighborhood,
What about
no
strays?
home,
Yeah.
it's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
What are we supposed to do about strays and stray dogs and dogs that just roam wild in the environment? Like
I'm just gonna say, Bob Barker must have been a visionary, because he must have actually been wanting to save the planet by telling everybody to spay and neuter their dogs and cats.
He was doing
Maybe
a
he
public
was,
service.
Oh yeah.
boy.
What about cat dogs when they're like combined?
Oh yeah, there we go. What about that?
Cat dog.
And I mean, are rabbits pretty much like borderline? Because
I mean,
they're about
rabbits
the
you
same
think would
size
be
as
the
a cat.
worst because they have they have so much sex.
Right. I mean, look at Australia. What they did to Australia ages ago.
Yeah.
Multiplying like rabbits.
Yeah. Franco Walker
Whatever
wants to know.
problem.
Yeah. What about a pet rock? Yeah. Right. What
Yeah,
about them?
exactly. Yeah.
What about the size of that rock? So-
As long as they don't make
rock, it
pebbles.
would be,
As long as they don't have a family of pebbles, you're okay.
Yeah, it's a pet
What
rock.
about
It would
cats that
probably
look
be
like
carbon neutral.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, they shouldn't worry about
What
this too much. We have Chinese restaurants that keep the population down anyway.
Oh,
so-
no.
Oh,
No. Notice there's no cat in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
No.
somebody
There's
went
a lot of rats running
All
around
the
on
cats are like,
checking these rats and mice. It's an epidemic.
Mhm.
Because cats actually, they serve a purpose
We
like in
had-
farm living and stuff. Same with
Yeah.
dogs.
They do
Like,
actually,
both
big time.
both
Yeah.
animals can serve on like a
Mousers.
farmhouse type of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of dirt,
Yep.
When I had my
services
two
they
boys, they
do.
were amazing mousers. Big time. Oh yeah.
yeah. They serve a purpose in the environment.
Yeah.
So
When your dog licks his
can-
own
they
booty,
can-
it's bad for the environment. How am I supposed to stop licking your ass? He doesn't stop. What am I supposed to do?
hose them down. I don't know. So,
Right?
but yeah.
Just do it when I'm not
let's see,
looking.
sort of
There's no stopping it.
what was the author's name? Doom Chad. So,
Yes, yeah.
yes,
What the hell?
apparently, the author's name
Donna
John
Chad. Okay.
Chada
Oh
McCarthy.
yeah, he's probably got like a goat.
Donna Chad.
Goats are fine, but if you have
Probably,
cats and dogs,
yeah.
you guys are the problem.
Well, no,
That's my goat, my lovely
exactly.
goat.
At least with goats, like cows, you can produce butter and cheese and milk and stuff like that. So, better fat content.
Mhm.
So, Al, what do you think?
I think this is all
Are
crazy.
cats and dogs. Yes.
But yeah, for the most part, you guys were making complete sense, so you should stop.
Yeah, we need to stop that.
I know.
Here we,
Right. That's
here we
right.
are with the logic and the common sense. We need to stop that right now.
Oh, see, this is under opinion. See, so at least he made it. At least he made a note and say this is his opinion, not actual facts.
Oh yeah.
In my
That's-
opinion, owning a pet's doing damage to the environment. Do you have anything to back your claim? No, I'm just saying it. Okay, you're an idiot. All right.
Like, what are they saying? What are they saying? Is it the flatulence of the animals? And I'm like, we should get rid of all
There's no-
Taco
I don't
Bells?
know.
They don't even
No more
specify.
Taco Bells? I mean, what? Like,
That would involve actually having to read this article that nobody wants to do.
This is he probably stepped on a
exactly
few
right.
like dog shits walking down the street. Pick up your dog's crap, and then he wrote an article about it. Dogs are bad for the environment. They keep shitting on my boots.
At
So
least
that was
cats
a
go to
partial
the bathroom in a pan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Um,
Sort of poopus. My pet keeps scooting his ass on the carpet. What do I do? Get rid of the carpet.
Give it to somebody you love as a present.
Yes.
You want this carpet?
It's the gift.
Has it been used? No, not at all.
It's
got a nice
Sleep on it.
uh,
Put your face
there's a
on
chance
it.
you should get your
Oh,
cat
my
looked at. You
Lord.
might have worms, but yeah.
Put your face on it. Rub your face on it.
Ew.
yeah.
What the hell?
It's never
That's
been
the
used
gift
by
I
a
keep
dog, I
giving.
promise.
So
So the Independent, where does
exactly.
this paper or website come from? Is this American or Canadian, or is the Independent, British?
No, this is definitely American.
National Enquirer.
I yeah. It's probably out of Pennsylvania. I'm thinking.
That's insane. I thought
Yes.
President Trump was going to stop all this craziness.
Well, if
It
he
takes
did, then I wouldn't
time.
have any stupid news to report. So yes,
Well, that would be
exactly.
wonderful.
So
I mean, look at her. Look
Well,
at the author. She looks
man.
like a really nice, happy person. By those
She? Is
It
that
looks like a
Yeah.
she. Looks like, yeah.
If you silenced all the people
Good
that said
point.
stupid shit, the world would be a quiet place. It would be a quiet place. John
Cosmic
Krasinski.
Wolf. Cosmic Wolf. I'm
That's-
gonna meet the crackheads that write that garbage.
Hey, brother, how you doing? That's a good brother. Another fellow author.
Right.
Really, he'd be a fun guy to have on
just-
someday down the road too.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
no,
the
no.
quality control.
I agree.
Yeah, print
It's
that.
just- I think these people do drugs before writing this. They have to. They go in and snort a line and then start
Yes,
writing.
exactly.
You know.
They pro-
Seriously,
probably do.
I'm just saying the top half of that
Yeah.
person's
Okay,
head, I
and
can't tell.
next. I know the light is glaring at me and shining off his bald head. So
It looks
something
like a
I can
her
relate
though,
to.
by the eyes.
Next,
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
Can we really
Anyway.
tell nowadays? So next in super news, we also got this woman sues Samsung
God.
for $1.8 million after cell phone gets stuck inside her vagina. So
This is why
an
phones
Albuquerque
shouldn't have
woman
vibrate
is suing
as a-
Samsung. Yes. For $1.8 million after she necessitated the need to feel an emptiness in her soul, I'm guessing. So why? Okay, look. We
Okay, I got
had
an
one
idea
article
why.
around we had one article around Christmas of a woman sticking a Christmas tree in a place where the
Yeah,
sun
and-
don't shine.
An entire tree. Like, that's still
Yes.
amazing. It's like, yeah, look.
How did
I know.
Samsung? How is it their fault?
Exactly.
In what
I'm
universe
getting-
is it their fault?
I'm
AOC.
guessing her battery ran out in a certain other item. So she put it in there and had a secondary phone and kept on calling her stuff and left it on.
I'm sure
left it on
somewhere in the
vibrate.
fine print when you get a cell phone, it's like, do not stick this object in your vajayjay. No money will be given.
Yes.
They should put it there at least.
Well, now
somewhere.
they're going to do it
17.
now.
It's going to, yeah.
Yeah, page 17, addendum
And-
6. Women
Yeah.
shall not stick it up there.
Yeah.
If you watch
Not
a movie,
meant for
Jackass,
Wendy would know.
Republicans.
And Wendy would know here because according to her, pagers fit better than I've heard. So there we go. This coming from a I was about
That's
to say
where all the
medical doctor,
pagers went.
but yeah,
I can imagine the stuff that those in the trauma ward have to remove. Oh my goodness.
along with all the left socks. So
in court, Samsung's like, was it good for you though? And then she's like, oh no,
Can you-
I don't want to answer that. So you didn't enjoy it.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But it's
And you know the
good.
bad thing about this is that she will probably win the lawsuit
Yes.
somehow.
Yes.
Somehow, she'll probably win the lawsuit.
She probably will. That's
I mean,
the
how do you say
weird,
it was an
bizarre
accident?
thing about this.
I was on it and it just fell in. Like, what is it? A gaping chasm? How does it just fall in?
Right.
Is
It just
it that
doesn't.
movie, The Descent? What are we talking about here?
This
She was
takes
doing
effort.
yoga and it fell off the counter and fell right in.
Yeah,
like, were
how
you
does-
doing naked yoga?
Yes, it
How big
bounced
is
off
it?
the
Like,
floor.
Oh.
I didn't. Yeah, like I don't. I know, Vince. Yeah, interesting. Doctors and nurses and a few people that still use pages. Yeah. So yeah, and follow up story says Snorter Poopus. Women discovers the joys of redial. So that's
Like I said, her toy must have died,
Why?
and she's like, "This has
Why?
vibrate," and put it up there and let it vibrate and call myself with another.
Yeah,
phone.
no, she told her friend, keep calling me over and over again.
exactly, and I'll let you know when I'm done. And
Yeah,
she couldn't
yeah.
because her phone
She's
gets
not.
stuck.
Oh, she's
I
not
can't
at
find my
Samsung 'cause her
phone.
bill. Yeah, her bill was so high.
yeah, exactly right. Oh man, and hail Lord Thoth, you just made it in the nick of time to be horrified and yet at the same time amused. So
They billed her
there
for
we
roaming.
go. That oh no, God. Okay, well that's
It was
it for stupid
international.
news.
Moving right along.
International.
Yes.
Al,
It
are
was
you,
on the other
are
side of
you-
the planet.
Al, are you scared to be here now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should have just stayed on my drawing board and make comics.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into. So
You know,
because I asked you before the show started, you know what this show is all about, so you're all good. You know how this goes. So.
We're nuts.
That's up there with the lady shoving Christmas trees up there. Remember that article? He was
Yeah,
like trying to steal Christmas trees. That one.
If
yeah,
there
you
was
think
an
I would know
Olympics-
better by now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think if there was an Olympics, she'd win gold or even platinum. So
I had no idea Steve-O from Jackass was going to be such a revolutionary role model and influence to the modern
Oh,
generation.
I
Oh,
know.
Him and who was the other one? Ryan Dunn that stuck the thing up there. They're both of them.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah.
Legends. They
Oh,
should have
man.
statues made of them at that exact moment. A bronze statue.
Yep. Oh Lord.
All right, so what else do we have in news today?
Okay, so yeah,
Switch
so
it up,
here's a good
please.
segment.
Yeah.
So
Moving right
seeing-
along.
So moving right along, seeing how we did this on Tuesday, for everybody that happens to be new here, this is the part of the show for the rest of the show that you get to torture me. So, oi, you watching the stream right now? I'm reading articles like a pro, but guess what? Your papers and ears deserve more than just a silent scroll. That's right. No one else is getting that kind of level of fame. So, if you just donate maybe a mere $5 kind of super chat, you want it, and I get to use the voice that you kind of want to hear right now. And there you go. So, if you want to continue the hilarity and essentially torture me as part of the show, because I know you guys loved it like last Friday or this past Tuesday. As Pop snickers to himself quietly. Yeah, $5, 5 minutes, you name the voice, and I will do my best to go ahead and do that. So So what do we got for articles? Well, we got this because we've talked about it on a few occasions, and we said we'd keep up on the story. So, yeah, and I don't know how this is going to affect Peter Dinklage whatsoever, considering how he assisted in blacklisting pretty much all midgets. I don't know, people of minor stature. I don't know exactly how else to phrase it, but
Little people.
little people, right?
The little people. So Peter Dinklage's Toxic Avenger gets theatrical release date, first look.
So it looks like things are going forward this year because, as we reported earlier this year, yeah, it is coming out, and we got pictures, and yeah, in a weird sort of way, I want to see this more and more, and
like I said, it reminds me. We watched the trailer, which looks amazing because it looks so bad it's going to be good, sort of like a Trolls 2 type thing. It's like, oh, it's so bad, it's going to be amazing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait for this to happen. It's so bad, but it's so good. Snorter Poopus wants to know, is Dinklage in charge of short subjects now? Yes, quite possibly. Although I doubt this is going to be a short article, so he's got nothing to say about that. Yeah, it's so intense. It looks like Peter Dinklage is just doing voiceover for Toxie. Yeah, we'll have to see and see what happens with this. So, I'm gonna say, okay, first reaction to this look, it's reminding me of Buddy from RoboCop in a way, where dude's like covered into toxic sludge and he's like melting away.
For a brief period, I thought that was the Toxic Avenger. I knew the guy got toxic waste, but I'm like, he died immediately in RoboCop. How did he?
Yeah, right.
Avenger? He literally explodes.
And that was such a good
that 70s show.
Yeah, right. And it's such a good practical effect too, because it's like ham exploding. Yeah, right. So Dark Helmet, yo man, sorry I'm late. I'm preparing for possible dangerous weather here later on. Oh no, really?
Ooh, be safe. Ooh. Yes.
Dang, dude. Well, be safe, man. Just duck and cover, because you saw those old 50s nuclear warhead kind of movies in school, probably. So you can
under
never
the desk,
duck and cover. That's right.
Yeah, you go under the desk, you'll be fine.
That's right. We all know they're
warhead.
Yeah, we all know they're indestructible. 90+ mile per hour winds and naders. Ooh, wow. That's not good. Oh, dang. And Wendy, yeah, we're under fire warnings until tomorrow night. Really?
Oh, jeez.
Jeepers, creepers.
Parts of Texas are hot and dry right now.
Oh, wow. And we ended up getting snow a couple of days ago. So, again, Trump, if you make us your 51st state, we expect all that weather to come up here in Canada and warm us up as quick as possible. So, because I want Texas weather at this point. So update. First look, images of Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger have been released. So, according to, Macon Blair, who told EW, the goal was try to stay true to the vibe of Lloyd's original Jennifer Asimov, Mitch Cohen creature, with some influence from the Toxic Crusader cartoon look. So, if anybody remembers that cartoon, I think it was like, late 80s when that came out? I'm thinking. That was a fun cartoon. While also trying to do something new and weird and lovable with Toxie's design, said writer-director Macron Blair, as he told EU.com. I love what Millennium FX did with it. Part human, part mutant, all heart. Aww.
I do have a small fear injected now, though, because if Peter Dinklage is doing voiceovers, he doesn't like doing voiceovers.
He's terrible. He got fired from Destiny.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. One of my all-time favorite, the only game I play online is Destiny. And I remember when he first started, he phoned it in so bad. They got rid of him. They're like,
that bad? Delivery. Yeah.
It was that bad. Like, he didn't care at all. You could tell.
Guardian. Is he going to be doing the voiceover, or is he actually going to be under makeup?
That's what I'm wondering.
I know. Plus, he's going to have to put even more extra effort into it because it has to be all heart, which is something that Dinklage is not exactly used to.
Yeah, and his best acting is like in Game of Thrones, where you can see his face, and when he's talking about his dad in that show, and like emoting, like. So yeah, his voice acting is like it's not that great.
No,
so far
he was good in Elf. Remember in Elf, he played the short guy who's a great writer.
You can see him. Yeah,
he's an angry elf.
He's an angry elf.
He's good at playing angry and drunk.
Yes, yes.
I drink and I know things.
Yeah, and on top of that, slightly regretful and sorrowful, as we saw in Thor, or not Thor. Sorry, in Endgame. So, yeah.
I mean, he was an X-Men too. He was trash.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was too. I forgot about that.
Made the Sentinels, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He created the Sentinels, the Infinity Gauntlet. Like Peter Dinklage did it all.
He did, man.
Dinklage been working.
Because that makes me wonder is because I haven't looked at the pictures yet, so it's going to be like first reaction. And if you guys in the chat haven't seen the pictures yet, well, you're going to see them now. So I'm wondering if they're going to make Toxic Avenger like regular kind of 6 foot tall human size, or if it's essentially going to be Peter Dinklage size. That's what
that'd be
I'm
cool.
wondering.
His toxic powers, he could like change. He could like go from small to big. He could like on the requirement of the situation, yeah.
So he mutates.
Yeah.
Like I said, the guy's actually a good actor. I'm never going to take that away. The guy's a really good actor. Always been liked him as an actor. Just he's an idiot because he doesn't like people of his own kind. Which is kind of ruined it for jobs. Like was it Dylan Posty? He actually played Hornswoggle. If anybody remembers wrestling, he hates him. He can't stand him because he's like he takes jobs from us. He says he doesn't want people. Oh, like he's kind of an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's other short people that tons of good actors in the industry besides you. Like, what the hell?
He'll be the toxic they, them, zer.
He does.
Oh my gosh. Huh?
No.
He does look a little short in that photo, no?
He does kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got big, powerful muscles.
The big Popeye forearms, yeah.
Yeah. Nice
Battle Toad.
Yeah.
Like a battle toad.
Oh my god, you're right. He's like totally battle toad.
That arm is that's a battle toad arm.
That's like Popeye sized forearms right
there.
Yeah.
They should have him eat some spinach. That'd be a funny little gag.
Oh god, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, he's as green as spinach. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Blow me down. I'm about to serve some smackdown on ya. So,
he like cocks back his arm when he punches someone, does like the spinning fist, and it like turns into like a little airplane.
Yeah.
You know how they do it in the cartoon. It spins so fast you can't see the hand, it becomes a whirlwind.
Oh,
if anybody's seen the Robin Williams Popeye movie, it was amazing when he did that.
Oh yeah, totally.
It was so good.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, and it's good to know that that they're including everyone in this picture because he's got the gray looking alien eye on top of that too. So you can't leave everybody out. And that clothes that looks pretty good. I mean, for this burnt up kind of acid worn kind of clothing, not too shabby.
They probably took some real clothes and like legitimately like melted it in acid or something to get.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
we gotta make these acid clothes. I get to burn something with acid. I have a legitimate excuse, and I'm getting paid.
Acid wash, literal acid wash clothes. Yeah,
like Breaking Bad. That. Don't do it in the tub.
Sort of. Yeah.
Porcelain.
Is that Penny wrinklage under the makeup? No, actually, there's no makeup. and that's actually Peter Dinklage on a 3-night bender.
That's him without makeup on set.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Before they make him up. Imagine.
What do we got here? And of course you have to have his patented mop.
Looks like a witch's broom.
It kind of does, yeah. Which looks like it's smoking, so I'm wondering if that's like acid dipped as well, or just full of toxy kind of wet stuff.
Maybe it burns you like corrosive acid when you like touch people with it.
That could be, yeah. It's I'm not sure. You know what? I don't because thinking back to like the old comic, because I think if I'm not mistaken, Al or Pop, if you might remember, didn't Marvel put out a Toxic Avenger comic? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, I vaguely remember a comic book, but
yeah,
the movie came out first, though, didn't it? Then they made a comic adaptation.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And I don't think the movie. I know it was kind of a cult film, and some people enjoyed the Toxic Avenger, but I don't think it ever did very well. And I'm not even sure if were there any other sequels to the movie, because I'm wondering, is this really necessary?
There's been several movies over the years, and it had a very thanks to Vince Womack, they did.
Oh my God. Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger.
Marvel did publish 11 issues of the comic book Toxic Avenger from 91 and 92. I had to look it up because I couldn't quite remember.
Yeah, they need to have that Toxic song by Britney Spears in there. If they don't, it's a missed opportunity. Have it play while he's like murdering people with like that would be hilarious.
Oh my God. I couldn't remember whether it was like late 80s or early 90s, but so around 90, 91.
Yeah, 91, 92.
Okay.
And none of us have read the comic.
No.
Well,
no.
I thought it was a 12 issue, but Pop, you said it was like 11 issues? Because
that's what I'm looking up. Trauma.fandom.com. They have a Traumaville wiki.
Oh, okay.
Toxic Avengers 1 through 11.
Okay. See, because I do remember my brother collected those Marvel comics, Toxic Avenger Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Because he was into getting some really weird comics. I mean, aside from G.I. Joe, and I do remember him having a few issues of these. So, but I remember this now.
The first movie came out in 84. So it took him a while to get to the comic books, but
And Franco Walker, I rented Toxic Avenger in the 80s from the video shop. Oh yeah, that was like a long time ago, dude. Such a long time ago. And Vince Womack. There we go. Toxie on Tubi TV. There is the link. And its sequels and spin-offs. There were spin-offs?
Wow.
Like I knew there was a sequel, but I didn't even know there was spin-offs, dude. So that's kind of funny that there were actual
who's producing the new movie?
Let's see. I think it's a small independent studio. I think in conjunction with the original creator, if I remember correctly. So previous from January 31st. So it goes on because it'll mention, I believe, who's going to be producing this. A toxic world deserves a toxic hero, states the official info. And now it's learned Cineverse is that hero. So good news for the Peter Dinklage Toxic Avenger movie that got shelved last summer. Yeah, because like what we reported back in January, this is coming out again. So is that the flick is getting a theatrical release. So it's going to be released as an unrated wide release on August 29th. So a summer movie of this year and kicks off Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
Whether we want it or not.
Exactly. Well, if anything's an indicator of the movies that we saw coming out this year, like at the beginning of January,
I'm generally
It
against
might-
remakes and adaptations just because
Yeah.
quality suffers.
Oh yeah. No,
I
agree with you
remember
on that.
this going way back to I don't know what was it, 2020 or 2021 or something like that, where Peter Dinklage starred in a remake of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah. I remember that. And that was not good.
I mean, the trailer looked remotely interesting to that, but
Yeah.
after so many adaptations of Cyrano de Bergerac, it's like I don't need another one, and
No.
especially not by Peter Dinklage.
No. The only one that was good in my eyes was the one with Steve Martin.
Oh yeah,
You know which one I'm talking about?
yeah. That
yeah.
one.
I love that. What, Roxanne, I think it was?
Roxanne,
yeah.
Yeah. I love that one.
There was one going way back with Gerard Depardieu that was also pretty good. But
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. So,
that's going off on another tangent, actually.
yeah, that's true. So the details are that Cineverse, the parent company of Bloody Disgusting, who released the big hit Terrifier 3, none of which I saw, has acquired all US and Canadian theatrical home entertainment and streaming rights to the Toxic Avenger through a deal with Legendary Entertainment. Wow.
Legendary is the only thing that looks very familiar to me, because Legendary,
Yeah.
you know, they do comics and film.
Yeah.
So that's the only company in this whole article that seems familiar. Like everyone else,
Yeah.
I've never heard of before.
No, because Godzilla.
Yeah, I was about to
And-
say they were
and-
behind the big monster bash up movies, and I think they're behind the upcoming live action Gundam as well.
Oh.
Yes, they are. And of course, you know, Pacific Rim that everybody knows
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
obviously. So,
One and
yeah,
not two.
Yeah.
yeah. And Kong, and so it's pretty interesting that they got to deal with Legendary.
Yeah.
Jeez. I know. It's like, that's surprising. Huh. Because I'm wondering if Legendary is they're seeing something.
Yeah, it's like, do they actually know what they're getting themselves into?
They got
Yeah, they have to.
They have to,
Because it's
otherwise
not-
they wouldn't have done it.
Exactly. They're seeing something in this IP that probably a lot of people aren't seeing.
Maybe because
So
it's
this-
monster related.
That
It
could be.
could be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already been 5 live action movies from the 80s, plus a quote unquote children's cartoon show that was quickly canceled.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was.
Like, here's something for kids, a Toxic Avenger cartoon series. Yay, kids.
Oh, you know what? Why? Oh, geez. Of course. Now, I'm not saying. Here's my thought on this. Okay, because you know, Legendary's put out some pretty good movies. All right, pretty good. They're definitely watchable, but they're also playing in Hollywood. So why would it not make sense that somebody in Hollywood is saying to Legendary, you know what? If you grab this IP, maybe we can make it about the environment.
Oh, yeah. You could adapt it for modern audiences.
Exactly.
And that's a real danger to things being produced today, because we'll have these modern sensibilities with the producers, writers, directors making things for the modern audience. So yeah,
exactly.
And this also shows that they're not done mining the 80s for IPs, because they are creatively bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. And Franco, I know. Yeah, don't say that. I know, but you know what? I'm just playing a little devil's advocate, so to speak, here. And you guys in the chat, because I know all of you guys listening right now, or even if you're listening on the rewind, all of you are not stupid. You're not, okay? But if you think about it just for a little bit here, right? And the way Hollywood has been treating IPs, I mean, come on. Star Trek, Star Wars, all of Marvel, all of DC, yeah, Doctor Who, blah, 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 right? Come on. I mean, it would make sense if they do this, but it doesn't make sense that they do this. Yeah, right? So, yeah, made for modern audiences, rewritten for morons. It's doo-doo. Yep. So, but... No, go ahead.
Think about that Robin Hood show that they made. With the
girl. God, yeah, the one from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Yeah.
That was just an IP that's been done to death, where everybody knows the story of Robin Hood, and it doesn't need to be told in a modern. It was a travesty.
Well, like in Papa said, you're going on 80s IPs. I mean, there's already another. 80s. There's another Friday the 13th one being done. It's called Camp Crystal Lake, a new TV series of release.
Yeah, it's going to be a prequel about the Pamela Voorhees. About the mom. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So I mean, they're just diving into the 80s. It's just, they're going to suck it dry completely.
Freddy Krueger, the early years before he got his face beatified.
Oh, so dumb. Come on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've never watched Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, they're classics. I do love them. Oh, I've seen them all.
I'm really not one for like horror. I mean, I've seen what was the other one? The one with Pinhead, Hellraiser.
Oh,
I only watched I only watched
Cooper.
one of those. Yeah, I only watched one of those movies and I thought, okay, it's an interesting concept. But me, I don't. I get it. It's supposed to be, shock value and like, kill him, slasher kind of flick kind of stuff. Other than that, I really don't get the horror genre. I don't see the appeal of it, but that's just me.
Oh, I'm a huge horror fan. Like Clive Barker's Hellraiser, the first one, I think it was around 85. Bradley Cooper played Hellraiser, Pinhead. Amazing actor. But then again, they redid the newer version, which I didn't hate because people don't remember the comic. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't have a sexual, but I mean, they're the demons of hell. So, I mean, it's really well done. Clive Barker is Barker. He's a very dark. He's even darker than the other writers. Like his stuff is pretty messed up. Yeah. Like he actually did a series of Todd McFarlane did a series of toys done by him.
Yeah,
and, they were disgusting and gross, but they were cool. I like they hold them, but they were really out there, like really dark. Yeah,
and Vince, more like Robin Hood. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I watch old like Friday the 13th movies with Tom Savini's effects. The makeup artist on those movies and like. The way he would make, the dead bodies and the kills and how they,
he's one of the greats. Exactly.
It looks real. Yeah. That's what I really watch those movies for.
And Nora, give me the old Errol Flynn Robin Hood, Robin and Marion and Men in Tights. Yeah, exactly.
Men in Tights.
That was such a good show. That was a good movie.
Roll it around looking for a fight.
That Canadian production of Robin Hood. Oh my gosh, we made fun of that like in spades. Jeez.
With a guy named Director X as the director.
Yeah, Director X, and their entire rap song was like, "We the hood, we the hood, we the hood." Just repeating that. It's like you have no creativity whatsoever.
And he would, and the director would go on YouTube channels and fight and like argue with people about the show.
Yes, you're all racist. Like, your show sucks.
And the show actually itself was kind of racist. It hated white people. Yes. It's like,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We all called it
terrible example.
Like,
and
you said it's like, bet you it's going to be about a land developer wanting to develop the hood, and they've got to fight against the patriarchy or some such nonsense.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, there's the plot synopsis. They got to stand up against rich white developer.
Exactly.
That's never been done before.
Never been.
Wasn't
The
cop a redheaded woman? So we make fun of redheads too.
The chief, the police chief. Yeah. We finally get some red representation, and she just happens to be a bad feminist woman, cop, chief. You know, like, oh God, this just. Oh, thank God that show didn't go any further. Yeah, it was so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, did he go on Ads' channel? Yeah, I think he.
I know he went on
did.
like Hypnotics and a couple others, and
I think so.
I think he had a conversation with Mr. H reviews. If you guys know him,
Yeah,
I heard of him.
I gotta give him props for actually going on.
Yeah,
a YouTuber
That's
channel to defend his series.
and not only that, he would
Yes.
go on camera and he'd be like smoking blunts. He was like smoking weed while he's talking. He's like, yeah. It's like,
I know,
this
right?
guy just really doesn't give a shit
Oh.
about what we think.
So
he's just being him.
He's living the moment.
Yeah,
that's right.
you enjoy
Speaks
that check while you
volumes.
have it.
Exactly, because it's going to be gone by next week.
Yeah,
After you
yeah.
spent it all on blunts. So the reboot of the Toxic Avenger got shelved last summer as rumors claimed it was unreleasable. Yeah, so we remember that, and we were saying, how bad could this movie possibly
I
be
know.
unreleasable?
I've seen movies that got released that were unreleasable, but still made it past all the channels.
Exactly.
Y'all seen the Marvels? Y'all seen Madam Web?
Snow White this weekend.
Oh,
Snow White.
is it finally here?
It's finally
Day of
here.
The
Day of
Acolyte was
Reckoning
allowed to
has
be on
come in.
television.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how did that get
exactly.
passed? No.
I know, right?
The power of many. That's how
Oh,
it passed.
Lord, it was so bad.
And not even that. A quick
However-
note, just as let me say, remember, Jason, who might still be in the room, he was editing it to do a good version of it, and I was lucky enough to hear some of the stuff. There were so many mistakes in their audio, and this is Disney, a multi-billion-dollar company. He picked out and he showed me, like, oh my God, how did that get in the audio? Like, it was like amateur hour. It was like, oh, what the hell is going on? It was that bad. It's like, whoa.
Disney. They
No,
had
so white.
errors in production on the pamphlet of Boba Fett where they were showing they did like overhead shots of the big chase with the scooters, and it's like, oh, there's the building that's being propped up by 2x4s.
Yes.
As a person
Only
who works in
$100
film and
million
does
production.
camera work, it's not
Yeah.
hard to do. You
Money
got to
wins.
stay dedicated to your project, and these are $1 million projects. It's pathetic.
No, all the people on set watching Kymir take his shirt off and go take a bath in front of OSHA or whatever, May or whatever, whoever it was.
I know.
Takes off his Kaitama pants. And she looks at him in a sensual, sexual way. It's like, what? This is Star Wars.
Yeah, right. So, however, because we were, because back to that, we were wondering how bad this could have possibly be, and so it's you know what? If this is coming out and they were saying it was unreleasable, compared to what we have seen in the later half of last year and coming up like today with Snow White.
I want that Batgirl movie still.
Yeah.
Let me have a little peek.
I know. This is probably not that unreleasable then, I'm guessing. So
yeah,
however,
but what changed? Like if the movie was initially unreleasable, so what changed where they're actually going to did they do reshoots
They
or
had to have, yeah.
Reshoots, possibly even something like rewrites.
Yeah.
Or it could be the heads of studios are so moronic. They like that looks so bad. It's just unreleasable. But let's be honest, sometimes we like so bad. Like I said, look at Trolls, look at The Room, look at stuff like that is entertaining because we want to escape.
See, The Room, though, he was trying to make a real movie. That's what makes The Room so good.
Yeah.
But it's so fun. It's just so bad. It's just
like
imagine somebody in the writer's room saying, "This is so bad, it's good. It captures the spirits of the '80s."
Yes,
Miami Connection.
Somebody got it.
There's so many good B movies out there that are so bad they're just amazing. And it's like I said, Trolls 2 is one of the best. Miami Connection, that's another one. Like yes, they'd be unreleasable. The studio heads, like these rich people that don't know anything, it's horrible. No, fans want to see stupid stuff sometimes. We want to escape. And
that's right.
Yeah.
So, however, those who saw the film at various horror film festivals have good things to say. With 25 reviews, The Toxic Avenger has a 92% Rotten Tomatoes score. So that's kind of interesting. So the general consensus from the reviews is that the Toxic Avenger remake embraces its absurdity, delivering a gory, over-the-top, and highly entertaining experience. Right, because like we're saying, it's so bad that it's good.
Al dropped out again. So when
we did?
To put him back on.
Oh my god. Okay. So he'll be back. He'll be back in speeds. So many reviewers praise Peter Dinklage's dedication. Well, I guess, sure. Okay.
His voice?
Probably. And the film's practical effects and
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like practical effects. And its ability to blend outrageous humor with a surprising emotional core. So it's noted that fans from the original Trauma film and Schlossky offbeat Schlossky. Yeah, I know, right? So, I poured out my Schlossky and they all were horrified. Offbeat cinema. I don't know. It's toxic. That's why. Offbeat cinema will likely enjoy its unfiltered, chaotic fun. So yeah, so that's what it's about.
You know who else was bragging about practical effects? J.J. Abrams was bragging about practical effects for his new Star Wars movie way back when.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, Simon Pegg was probably the best because you couldn't even tell it was him in that alien. That alien.
But
that was like one scene.
Sure.
So,
Especially a B horror film, practical effects are the best. And I'm going to go back to one of the greatest of all time, American Werewolf in London. If anybody's never seen, that's what I'll do.
Oh yeah,
but that is the greatest transformation scene of a werewolf ever, and that was pure bladders and wires. That's all practical, no CGI, and it's amazing still to this day. It's the most believable transformation scene. It's so chef's kiss, but it was all practical. So I like when they do practical. It can be fun. Sometimes it can be funny. It could just So I do like that. It's good CGI when it comes to that.
Because for some odd reason they wanted to like drill it in everybody's head that CGI is the way to go, right? And sure. For some things, yes, right? For other things, no, forget it, because we can obviously tell it's obviously CGI, but no, there's something about just practical effects that just, I don't know, it just still kind of works if it's done right.
Because you're really looking at something.
Yes.
You know what CGI is best for?
That's what it is.
Sci-fi, because that's hard to replicate practically. Sci-fi is best for CGI because it is hard to replicate. But anything else, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can do it. So
depending on the budget of the production as well.
Yes, because sci-fi is expensive. They're the most expensive types of film to make. They are.
Oh yeah. So
see, because that's what I was going to ask, whether it's cheaper to do CGI as opposed to more practical effects.
Nowadays, with like CGI programs, it probably is
with the AI and stuff, because it's all AI driven now. A lot of it.
Yeah, you don't need squibs anymore for an action movie. You can just have the effects pop on the actor and do all the stuff in post. It's like, but the squibs, that's what I like. I like those in movies. I don't know.
Unreal Engine 5 has nanotechnology now, which develops areas that makes it look real. It's scary. Wow. Unreal Engine 5 is going to be. And now they got an Unreal Engine 6 being developed, which will say photorealistic. That'll be used for films easily. So,
well, I mean, look at the last Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire. I mean, because it was like revealed a few weeks ago that some of the scenes in New York was completely CGI, which is insane. Yeah, that it was like done on set. Yeah. When they were, I think it was.
You could kind of tell because it had that How I Met Your Mother like plastic set type of vibe a little bit.
Yeah,
they weren't really there.
Yeah,
I did not like Frozen.
To tell, though. Yeah.
Vid Womack says, for the Thing prequel, they originally did do practical effects, but the studio thought they couldn't pull it off. Afterwards, the FX studio released a video of a side-by-side comparison. Yeah. So, I do like practical effects, if done right, if done great, and if you got a good crew that actually knows what they're doing. And
that $1 million T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
That's right. Right. Yes, exactly. Right.
David, pure ingenuity genius.
It's up there.
But as
dude.
you
Nice
mentioned,
to
as
see you,
Zapion
man.
mentioned, we had Tom Savino, who's one of the best for gore and blood and stuff, and he's the master. I used to collect Fangoria, and he's the man, like for practical effects.
Yeah, and
gore
like zombies ripping people apart, like that man's
Oh,
made
yeah.
some of the best,
Just
zombies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm guessing probably, judging by this picture and the perspective that it's at, I'm guessing this is actually Peter Dinklage in the Toxic Avenger suit.
I'm thinking so.
I'm thinking
like you
so.
said, the camera angle shot
Yep.
low, trying to make him look larger than what he is.
Yep.
Because
he
they
got
did
the
that in
baseboards on the
Endgame.
bottom.
They made him a giant in Endgame, so like with trickery and stuff, and
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Peter Jackson's, trickery. They could,
Yeah.
trick us.
Snortopoopa's post-production muzzle flashes will take the place of blanks. But when Alec Baldwin can't kill people, it's a post-production effect. Right. Exactly. So, nothing to see here. Carry on with your day. But yeah, because you can see the baseboards on the bottom. And so, you take the baseboards along the wall there by the floor, and you kind of get a good idea of the heights. So yeah, it totally looks like Peter Dinklage in costume.
Looks like he's holding a magic paintbrush.
Well, yeah, look how big his head is.
Yeah, exactly, right? Huge head, amazing big giant head.
So do we care about the Toxic Avenger? Have we seen the other movies? Is this even really important?
I
Many
seen it
years
when I
ago.
was a
Many
kid.
years.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember watching.
Yeah,
It was one of those guilty
not a big
pleasures.
thing on me.
Like,
yeah,
not big for me. It was of its time.
Right.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm gonna go see this. I don't know.
oh, I'll
Maybe
be
I
getting
might.
it other ways. I'll watch it other ways.
Oh yeah. But back in July of last year, Dinklage stated he had hoped it would get a release, and he says, "No, I'm not a producer on it. I don't know. I do want it to get it out there into the world because it was a really big hit at Fright Fest in Austin, and Macron Blair, the writer-director, who is also in the thicket, he's incredible. He's one of my favorite people and favorite artists. So hopefully it'll have its day in the toxic sun."
I wish Joe Dirt was the Toxic Avenger. Joe Dirt would be a hilarious Toxic Avenger because he was
Oh,
a janitor.
dude. Yeah.
Life's a garden, dig it. He's just going.
Yes.
Say, Joe Dirt, get it right.
Oh,
Why do
my
I think
God.
Sam people were yelling
Yeah.
at them? Remember the Sam person had the gun?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
That
Tuscan
scene-
Raider. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like right there. That scene.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hilarious.
Sound like a seal.
We need
Yeah.
Boba Fett to. We need
Yeah, pretty
Boba Fett
much.
to talk to him like a
Yeah.
banta. Do you have any more of those lizard peyote trips? That was fun last time.
Yes. Yes.
Boba Fett like eats a lizard or something and goes on a spirit quest.
Yeah, like not dancing with sand people.
And I'm
Yeah.
not just saying random shit. This happens in a TV show.
It
Yeah.
does. He's a-
This actually
he's a-
happened.
He's a man that appreciates many cultures.
Boba
But,
Fett's Toxic Avenger because he was, being swallowed by Sarlacc
Yes.
acid, burned by Sarlacc acid. So I guess he is the Toxic Avenger, really.
Yeah, he was very
He,
well
he
pleased.
crawled out of the
So, oh God. But see, now we're on the top of the hour. We'll take a very brief commercial break for our patent pending Thoughts from the Throne with Rancor Steve. And yes, he's back. He's back on the throne, folks. So enjoy.
I love that.
So it's been scientifically proven that no one gives a shit about Daredevil, Star Trek, Star Wars, or any comic book stuff in general. because masculinity is on the rise. Unless you drive a Subaru, then you're just gay. That's all I think. Yeah, you're gay if you drive a Subaru.
I love that.
Okay,
There we
okay.
go.
I gotta say something.
Good
I'm sorry,
flush.
Steve. Steve, let me tell you, Steve, you poop before you flush. You don't do it as you flush. Seriously, and come on, this is coming a man masculinity who's probably shorter than Peter. You're shorter than Peter Dinklage. I mean, come on. I love you, brother. I do love you, brother.
I'm just waiting for the video where he's got a tape measure and he's gonna like, all right, today we're gonna see how big today's log is. Middleman, do tape measures on your poop.
Oh my God, my daughter-in-law is gay. I don't know. So Joe Subaru was gay. So, maybe. Everybody has their own method of pooping, Tom. So don't get so enraged.
But something's going to stick in there. It's still going to be in the toilet after you go. You're leaving there. There's a log still in the toilet. What the hell?
Yeah, you're figuring out the physics of how people poop. Oh my God. Okay, so. Oh man.
We love that little midget though.
And hey, Tom Baker, yeah, the funniest man ever, right? So I love how everything is like it's been scientifically proven. So he proves everything with science, and that's a science I guess you can believe. So there you go. Our own rank or receive. Okay, so seeing how we got a prevalent comic artiste here, next article that's going on is this little article from bleedingfool.com, and it's got a little bit to do with the Eisner Awards and the Eisner Award winning comic creator that calls out Marvel, and to which he's saying to stop, essentially stop effing creators over. So this is nothing new from Marvel or DC that loves to screw over creators many times. And Al, you think, first of all, do you think you can give us maybe a little rundown on the Eisner Awards, what it's all about?
Yes. So the Eisner Awards are kind of like the modern day Grammys or Oscars for the comic book community. So there's several different awards for comics.
Right.
The Eisner Awards are the big deal. So the award ceremony is done in June or July at the San Diego Comic-Con every year.
Okay.
I like the Eisner Awards. The awards are named after Will Eisner.
Right.
And I think that started, when did that start? Early 90s, I think. When there was, because they used to have the Kirby Awards, and then there was a split between the two camps that were behind the Kirby Awards, and then that turned into the Eisner Awards and the Harvey Kurtzman Awards. So yeah, the Eisner Awards are great. Personally, I think in the last several years, they tend to be a little on the woke side, but I hope they stop doing that. But as far as this article goes, yeah, I like Dustin's artwork. I saw his initial post on Instagram, on his Instagram page, and I briefly read through it. But yeah, as far as comic book creators' rights go in regards to work made for hire, yeah, I think the fight is not over, despite what like Frank Miller might say. And I love Frank Miller, but he thinks the fight's over, but it's not.
Yeah, okay. And hey, Bill Barkley. Hi, Mike. Guys, just nipped in for a moment. Awesome, dude. Well, nice to have you here. So essentially, yeah, it's a huge deal, the Eisner Awards. And correct me if I'm wrong, people can submit their comic to be considered for winning an Eisner Award?
Yeah, like, well, the way they run the Eisner Awards or the Harvey Awards or even the Ringo Awards, they're all done differently. But
Okay.
as far as the Eisner Awards go, yeah, if you work in comics or if you're a publisher and you want to submit your book to the Eisner Awards, then you just, send your book off to the Eisner Awards. And each year, the Eisners have a new batch of judges. So the judges will look through all the books that have been submitted, and then they put together a list of nominees. And those who work in the comic book industry can vote based on the selection of nominees. So, yeah, I vote every year, which is nice. Although in the last several years, I don't recognize a whole lot of the work that's submitted for nomination. But yeah, it's weird. I hope things change a little bit. But yeah, I like the way they generally operate, and it's the awards are named after Will Eisner, and yeah, I think it should be a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know what this has to do with Dustin, because he wasn't really complaining about the Eisners, right? He was just complaining about Marvel.
Right. So in a recent Instagram post, comic artist Dustin Nigan, I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right, expresses frustration with Marvel shedding light on the long-standing issues of low pay and inadequate royalties for artists. So his candid remarks have sparked a conversation about the treatment of creators in the comic book industry. And so he says, to everyone, I'm not working at or with at Marvel can basically screw themselves. I've asked nicely for the past 15 years on behalf of every artist, stop effing creators over. You're not getting another cover from me until then. Drown me. I'm okay with your minimum wage bullshit. So,
So what happened? Did they change his page rate or something? Did he go into detail about that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So if he's complaining about something like low wages, like minimum wage, because we do have one guy that Damon here that happens to be in the chat, so he just nicely dropped by there. So hey there, he's actually going to be producing his own comic soon, and he's thinking about either going maybe to Marvel or Skybound, or but he's putting together a comic for somebody. I can't say who. That's a little bit on the hush hush, but what if you can you say what a normal let's just put it this way, an entry level page rate would be, say, roughly from Marvel?
Well, I don't know what the page rates are now. I heard they were pretty terrible nowadays.
Okay.
And my understanding is the page rates at the big two are less than what they were when I was actually working for Marvel and DC. But when I started working, when I started working at first I worked for Warp Graphics, and they published all the ElfQuest books, and my page rate back then in 1994 was $115 to ink each page.
Okay.
Then Marvel paid a little bit more. I think it was like $120. And then when I went over to DC, they asked me what Marvel was paying me, and then DC was paying me about $130 or $135
per page
as an inker.
Right.
So, and then I was working at DC and at Archie Comics at the same time, and Archie's page rates were terrible, but DC probably paid me the best. But I have no idea what the page rates are now. But I hear they're really quite terrible.
Wow.
See, that's
kind
why
of almost hard to believe.
Well, not surprising. I mean, the direct market is in terrible shape right now. So I don't think Marvel and DC Comics are actually making a whole lot of money on, the weekly, monthly pamphlets anyway. See, that's why I'm always talking about, exactly. Hey, I hear you. Diamond has filed for bankruptcy. You have Lunar, and then you have Random Penguin House. And those are the distributors. So yeah, my thing again, is to write and draw your own work, self-publish your own comics and work directly with selling your book to readers and stores, bookstores, comic book stores, and work directly with them, because the direct market is in really, really terrible shape. I mean, there was a time when the direct market in the late 70s, early 80s actually saved the comic book industry, but now everything's so terrible.
That's really interesting.
And that's why a lot of these indie creators are doing crowdfunding, because they're making a lot of money through crowdfunding and they're selling directly to the readers.
Jeez, that's pretty nuts. So it goes on to say in the Instagram post, okay, getting hits earlier than expected from this one, and I'm kind of glad because I got words. But really, if this bothers you, I'm sorry. Marvel has been undercutting creators from the start. Unless you're getting $6,000 to $7,000 a cover, then God bless. I hope you're getting a piece of the MCU and after sales. Between them and DC Comics, they are the only one and doesn't pay a royalty for overseas sales. Think America, or think. America is the originator of superhero comics. Japan has manga, which we love. Europe has that cool ass shit we love, but can't describe. Well, yeah, that's true. So God bless Morbius and all them. And what the fudge? They're not paying creators a piece. Come on. F this effing shit. Gotta be careful because I'm on YouTube. Also, merch, lunchboxes, and teas. Good luck. I got a bunch of DMs from people telling me I got to be careful. Don't cross Marvel. They're a major player. They're only 2 in the mainstream. Oh my God, F them. Man, like I give a flying F. F Marvel Comics. F everyone that I'm not in directly working with. I love my Marvel editors because they get your books out on time. The direct staff has no control and they don't juggle the stupid effing numbers. I'm going to break into simple ass effing terms. Oh man.
He sounds really angry.
He sounds slightly angry.
This really reminds.
No, exactly.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Pop. What were you saying?
I was just saying this really reminds me of Harlan Ellison's famous rant about pay the writer.
Yes.
If you've never seen that, it's on the YouTube's readily findable.
Yep.
Harlan Ellison, pay the writer.
Yeah.
But this is much more colorful with the colorful metaphors that Spock would say.
It is though. You can really feel the anger in the message. And for that, I'm slightly appreciative.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, going back here, hey, unless you're getting $6,000 to $7,000 a cover, then God bless. Like, wow, like $6,000 to $7,000 a cover. Like, dude, that's a lot of quid.
That's like Frank Miller cover wages.
Yeah. Right? You'd have to be like top tier to be getting paid that much for a Marvel cover. Like, hats off to you if you can pull that off. So, but yeah, so between Marvel and DC, like he says, they're the only ones that doesn't pay a royalty for overseas sales. So that's interesting. Because I thought it was just overall sales worldwide. I mean, not just North America, but, if you get issues being sold overseas, I mean, I know it doesn't probably happen that often, but there are collectors overseas that do buy Marvel and DC. They don't get royalties from that?
Well, I think it depends on the publisher, and they also split up the royalties differently. So if you had worked, well, I'll speak about DC. So
right.
For DC, they'll pay you royalties on the books you worked on if they sell more or reprint it. And there's also a separate royalty if they make a movie or TV show based on any of the material that you made while working on the book. So those are separate types of royalties.
Okay.
My dealing with Marvel, well, I used to work for Marvel and I used to be an animator for Marvel, but also there's like in 2006 when Marvel was, I'll try to make this short, but when they were trying to publish creator own work, they gave me a copy of that contract because they wanted to publish a comic based on Nemish Man. And the contract was, I liked the contract. It was great. I retained ownership of the property, but there was one clause there saying that they would pay me royalties, but not on overseas royalties. And I thought that was weird. So yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but yeah, it's, as far as what Dustin's saying here about overseas sales, yeah, my experience seems to suggest that at least with Marvel, that was not something they would offer.
So yeah, so say if you put a book out, here, and it becomes a hit overseas, but maybe not so much here, you're not going to be seeing a lot of money, even though, say, it could be a hit in France or Italy or something like that.
Sure.
You wouldn't see anything.
Correct.
What? Dang.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
a huge piece of the pie.
It could be potentially, but the thing is, I mean, I'm thinking about it now, and is it because, they might have a different publisher in Europe, for example, that publishes the book and they got to take a cut? So I don't know. But the issue of comic book creators' rights, that's been going on for decades, and publishers have taken advantage of writers and artists that work in comics for decades. This is not surprising. It is surprising that Dustin's talking about this now, because Dustin does great artwork, and he's kind of a big name in comics. So
yeah,
a guy like that all upset, yeah, that must have been something really terrible happening.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then the next part of this, where he's going on that he got a bunch of private messages, basically, of people telling him to be careful and not to cross Marvel because, and we've heard this before, because they're a major player of, the only two in mainstream. I mean, yeah, we kind of know that, but I mean, it's almost like people are telling you, you don't want to upset the mafia boss, because you won't be working in this field very much longer if you keep on beaking off, kind of thing.
And that's exactly right, and that's exactly how things work with Marvel and DC. When I started working for Archie Comics, I remember I was talking to another Archie Comics artist, and he was telling me in private that Archie Comics, the publisher, does not like it when creators start talking to each other about things, because they actually start talking about page rates, and that's so they don't like that.
Because if I remember correctly, because I was listening to a podcast that I think Rob Liefeld did a couple of years ago, and even though he didn't quite come out and reveal it, there is a thing within the comic book industry, especially if you're working with the big two, that page rates are really quite the secret thing, because from what he was saying, even though Rob Liefeld is pretty much like an entitled whiny baby at this point, that's just my opinion. It's something that he said a lot of fans were asking him about. How much do you get paid per page? And it's really something that's not talked about, even among other artists at times, but sometimes it gets leaked out.
It does.
So,
there were, I think in the late 80s, when some of the indie guys got together and they wrote the Creators Bill of Rights, and they really wanted to start a discussion about comic book creators' rights. And then when I started doing the same sort of thing, trying to get the talking again, discussion about comic book creators' rights in the early 2000s, 2005 or so. One of the few things, because people talk about the return of artwork and royalties to some extent, but you'll rarely will hear some comic book creators talk about things like page rates or even contracts, and that's a whole different argument right there. They don't. Again, if you want to work in mainstream comics, and if you want to work for Marvel and DC, I guess that's fine, but you got to be aware of whatever it is you're signing or signing away. But nowadays, it's just like the less amount of people that I have to have control over me and my work, the better. Because if you don't have to work for Marvel and DC, and if Marvel and DC are treating people like garbage, why would you still want to work for these people? Do your own stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's more fun that way. You got the freedom to do whatever it is you want.
And just quick numbers here. Marvel Comics, we're going on sales of last year alone. Marvel Comics would hold about 30%, 36% for the sales in comic book stores. DC was about 23% percent. So they're I can see their top two, but Image isn't too far off. They're 12%. That's my favorite. You got Spawn there, and then everything else under that's lower. But I mean, I can see them, but it shows there's tons of other places you can still work. And like you said, Al, just work for yourself. I mean, and you can still get out there. And it's, I mean, yes, they hold a share, but it's not the number one. There's still not all there is.
Yeah.
It shows there's tons of other.
It works for the Comicsgate crowd that work on their own and sell their books through Indiegogo or whatever those crowdfunding sites are.
Right, and it works well because they raise the money, and then if they ship the books directly to their readers, like a publisher is not taking 90% of their profits, a distributor is not taking 60% of their profits.
Yeah.
So I think nowadays that's a great model to work within.
It is. So it says it's going to break it down into simple ass terms. So if you're an artist, you draw. Well, I hope you literally don't draw shit, but yeah, you get the idea. You want to get paid for, if you're an artist, you draw stuff. You want to get paid for stuff. So now in the future, forever. So you draw now and in the future in countries everywhere, including the one you don't live in. So, F this current Marvel contract. I'm too small in tier and can't negotiate a better one for you. Those in control, those who work, pull, please work for the rest of us. DC isn't far. DC isn't far from them because, after all, they're a conglomerate of things owned by Warner Brothers. Doesn't help your argument. But when I ask for things, DC works with me. See, interesting. So I've asked Marvel for, like, I swear, $75 page raise. In the past 15 years, the minimum wage in California is doing better than them. Probably in a decade, even that asshole Trump will do better than Marvel given in a month. I don't even need that shitty chump change. Sorry for the language, folks, but he's expressing his innermost deep feelings. But I want to see how cheap they are. All this equaling maybe a royalty. That's the, please, sir, can I have 15 cents after you've made your thousands in things? No response. So what am I treading carefully for again? I seriously forget. See, okay, like, Marvel obviously is owned by DC. Disney doesn't exactly like to pay a lot of money. And like what we talked before, like with Book of Boba Fett, for example, where you can see the lumber behind certain sets and stuff like that. They're not really, how should I put it, caring about quality. I know this might be a shocker to some.
Well, let's be honest. If we're talking about their films, they don't even read the comics for making the Marvel movies. Remember, they actually avoid it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, no, don't follow source material.
No, can't do that. But, like what he's saying, DC isn't far from them because, they're a conglomerate of things owned by Warner Brothers. Doesn't help your argument. But when I ask for things, DC works with me. Well, okay, they might work with you, however, I don't know if you want to mention this, Al, but sometimes that's not exactly the case with DC. Well, not that I'm trying to put you on the spot, but
no, that's fine. Yeah. So, in regards to DC Comics, for the most part, for many years, DC probably treated me the best. They returned my artwork. They gave me royalties. And they were very flattering. Right. Yeah, and the page rate was great. But yeah, like 2 years ago, I was having problems with DC paying me my royalties. And then some of that may have been due to Discovery buying Warner Brothers and then owning DC Entertainment and DC Comics. And it was like pulling teeth for DC to pay me any money that was due to me. And I had to remind DC my contract. And then it got really difficult, and they were lying, in my opinion, about having the check sent in the mail twice, and it was never sent in the mail. And I had to do a video about that, and I posted it on YouTube. And eventually DC did pay me through direct deposit, and that made me happy. But that was like 2 years ago. But the thing is now is like, they're still not paying me any royalties that are due to me since then. And they don't even return my phone calls or email. And that gets very annoying, especially when I have a contract with them.
Right.
So yeah, it's awful.
So you're still having a little bit of a problem with DC.
I am, yeah. I started emailing them a couple of months ago, and they don't even get back to me now. So at least like 2 years ago, they would get back to me, but now they don't even bother to get back to me. So now I don't even know what's due to me, and they don't seem inclined to want to pay me whatever that is due to me. And I have a contract. Yeah, it's really annoying.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, worse things have happened. If they could treat Jack Kirby like garbage, they can treat anyone like garbage.
Wow.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, now even this interesting thing with this documentary coming out about Stan Lee that should be out soon as well, about even how he was treated, even after a while, like even from Marvel themselves. That should be even an eye opener too. So yeah, this is what happens when you end up with industrialized entertainment.
Well, the thing is, like, these publishers, even like early on, in the late 30s and stuff, these publishers would hire studios, and Will Eisner had a shop, the Eisner and Iger shop, where they created content. They created comics for these publishers, but these shops would create the characters and write and draw the comics, and then the publishers would publish it, and the publishers thought they owned everything. And that's kind of like the standard for decades in regards to work made for hire within the comic book industry. So yeah, they cheated Jack Kirby out of all the characters he created. They cheated Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. It's all quite terrible.
Well,
but the thing is, there's one other thing.
Go ahead.
In regards to comic book page rates, the reason why they don't want creators talking about page rates is because you find out that you're probably not getting paid as much as the other guy. And when you realize that happens, then you'll go to your editor-chief, which is something I had to deal with secondarily, and you start asking for raises. That's why they don't want us discussing about these things.
Well, see, that's an interesting question that I wanted to ask. Like, say you're buddy with, with somebody within the industry or something like that, and you're engaging in conversation and stuff like that, and he just happens to blurt out, "Oh, I'm getting X amount of dollars paid, per page now," and you're like, "Oh, well, what? Wait, what? Like, I'm only getting paid like this much. Like, how should I put it? What can potentially happen if, suddenly you go to your editor, it's like, hey, I learned, buddy of mine is getting paid X amount of dollars per page. How come I'm not getting paid that much? Like, because I'm sure that's happened.
It has
in the industry, I mean, you'd be absolutely stupid not to think something like that hasn't happened.
Right. So in I think the late 70s, maybe the early 70s, Neil Adams tried to start some sort of artist guild within the comic book industry. And he also wanted to talk about page rates. And accordingly to Neil, was a great guy. Neil was talking to Kurt Swan about page rates, and Kurt Swan was famous for drawing the Superman and Action Comics over at DC. So Neil Adams was talking to Kurt Swan. It didn't seem like Kurt Swan wanted to talk about page rates, so Neil just told him how much Neil made at DC, and apparently they were paying Neil Adams more money than Kurt Swan. So then Kurt Swan was like, "You get paid more than me." Well, that's going to end on Monday morning when I call DC and let them know that I want a page rate increase. And I know that I think one of the first times that you and I, Mike, talked about this when he interviewed me a little bit over a year ago, I think. And we talked about me and Archie Comics and page rates and which is a whole long story, but it was very similar to this story about Neil Adams and Kurt Swan.
Dang. Pop, you had a question.
Oh, okay. No, I just put a question in a private chat because I didn't know if it was proper to publicly put it out there, but it was just something that reminded me of a business class I took a long, long time ago in college where we were talking about artists not wanting to get together, talking about pricing because it could be like it could be seen as unfair business practices. Like, oh, you don't want to get together and all charge about the same thing because somebody not in the industry could look at it and go, well, isn't that unfair to fix all your pricing across the board? But I don't know. It's apples and oranges. I think it could, I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know how to approach that.
Well, you get what you negotiate. And again, when I was working for DC and Archie at the same time for 8.5 years, my page rates were vastly different because I think DC was paying me almost 3 times as much as what Archie was paying. But I agreed to those contracts. I was very naive in regards to my Archie contract, thinking that I could fix things or make things better, and that never happened.
Wow.
No,
and also
negotiate strong at the start.
Well, yes, that's true. But there's also the problem, and this was not with DC, is when your editor and editor-in-chief lies to you about page rates at their company. Yeah, that's a problem.
Let's see. So the article goes on. So Nigan's outburst was prompted by what he perceives as a consistent pattern of underpayment and exploitation by Marvel. Really? I had no idea. So he compared it to minimum wage bullshit, adding that making $6.25 an hour at a fast food job was still better than spilling my heart and love on a Spider-Man cover gig and getting a few free copies in the mail. My editors, Marvel effing kill, and I love him. Nigan added, I will fight both tooth and nail for them, but it will probably be against Marvel itself, which will all lose. So his most recent work for Marvel includes a symbiote Spider-Man variant cover on October's Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood #3, the anthology series, which includes the 5-page dysmorphia story written and illustrated by Nigan in issue #1, and a team variant cover for the upcoming Dooms Division. So, he's not a bad. I don't want to say he's not a bad artist. I mean, he's not. It's, I don't know, something about it though, and this is just because of my taste and stuff like that. Seems kind of sketchy, but I guess, hey, if he's popular enough and people dig him, then you should get properly paid because like what we were talking about earlier, Al. Like if you do happen to have artwork and people tend to talk you down, and that kind of goes in line with what you're getting paid as a page rate and stuff like that, it's just absolutely absurd and annoying when people try to talk you down when you have your own pages and you're looking to sell them, to make a few a little bit of scratch on the side or something like that, and
yes, well, in regards to Justin's artwork, he in the early 2000s, maybe a little after, he was working on one of the Batman books, and it was just like great stuff. I think when they were bringing back the Red Hood in Batman, the Batman or Detective Comics, he did really great work on that.
Right.
Return of artwork. Yeah, that's another topic because not all publishers will return the original artwork. And again, as far as Marvel and DC and Archie goes, I don't know how much original artwork is even being produced nowadays, because I think a lot of it's probably digital.
Yeah, that's true too. Because
so, but your point being is that we would like to have our artwork back, because we could sell it on eBay and make some extra money, and that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Some publishers, they're very cheap, and some will treat you better than others. But again, have control of your own career. And if you have to rely on, one of these work made for hire publishers, that's not a very good position to be in.
No, not really.
Especially now when, the opportunity for creator-owned work and is wonderful.
True.
Is it easier now that creators are able to go out on their own and use platforms like, I don't know, GoFundMe, Indiegogo, or Fund My Comic Book for outlets?
Yeah, it seems like the other guys are doing very well doing that. Yeah,
it seems like they didn't have that decades ago or anything like that.
Correct.
No, you definitely didn't.
Yes. And also, like in the early 90s, as Pop would know, early and mid 90s, we had a thriving direct market, which does not exist today.
Woof. Yeah.
And also today we got Amazon and eBay, and we got PayPal, and so do it yourself.
Let's see who I'm assuming is Rocco. Two guys talking. Didn't Neil Adams get them to give artwork back?
Right. So the story goes sometime in the 1970s, Neil was visiting DC Comics, and he went into the production department. Yeah. And there was some kid there with a large cutting board just cutting up artwork. And then Neil told him, and this is what Neil was saying. Neil told the kid, he's like, "You better stop now, or I'm going to punch you in the face." And Neil got, and I would visit Neil every year at the New York Comic Con, and I would just go up to Neil, and I would shake his hand, and I would just say thank you. And he was a great guy. Yeah. So Neil went to Julie Schwartz, either Julie Schwartz or Carmine Infantino at DC, and he was trying to get them to return the artwork. He's like, "Listen, if you return the artwork, then the creators can have the work, and then they could sell it." And then DC's opinion was we bought this artwork, so we own it. And Neil said, "Well, if you bought that artwork and you own it, did you pay sales tax on it?"
Yeah.
So then DC started returning artwork in the late 70s, and Marvel followed suit. Although when I was at Marvel in the late 90s, the way I had to get my artwork returned to me was I had to sign a document stating that I acknowledged that the artwork that was returned to me was a gift from Marvel, and that I had no copyright. Yeah, that's what it said in the contract. And I had no ownership of copyright and trademark over the property. And I was working on a Spider-Man book at the time, a kid's comic based on Spider-Man. I had no issue with trying to own Spider-Man. But to sign the contract, it says that I acknowledge that this is a gift from Marvel, and they're being very nice to me. So I signed it, and I got some artwork back. So, yeah.
So that's, and I've heard that Neil Adams, I heard he was like, around 6 feet, if not a little bit taller, and actually built, like.
I've seen him at a Austin Comic-Con years and years ago.
Yeah.
And how was he?
Pretty nice. Very, very friendly, very approachable. Was able to go up and say hi to him and take some photos of him at his booth, and that was pretty cool.
He was a nice guy, but he was a straight shooter. So if you were an aspiring artist and you showed Neil your work, he was very blunt and honest with you. And that's kind of good. Yeah, well, that's how Frank Miller started. When Frank Miller was 19 years old and he moved to New York City, and he would stop by Neil's continuity graphics office like once a week, and Neil would just rip apart his work, saying like it was terrible. You should go back to Vermont. You'll never make it. But Frank Miller kept at it, and he kept showing Neil his work. And then eventually Neil picked up the phone and I think called Dell Publishing, and that's got Frank Miller his first work in comics.
Wow. So now, according to Nigan, Marvel pay rates for covers and pages are alarmingly low, and he noted that unless an artist is earning between $6,000 and $7,000 for a cover, like wow, that's a lot of money, they are unlikely to receive fair compensation. So he laminated that very few artists command high rates, attributing this to Marvel's unwillingness to pay what is fair. So his comments reflect a broader sentiment in the industry where many artists struggle to make a living wage. And he continued that Marvel has been undercutting creators from the start. Unless you're getting $6,000 to $7,000 a cover, then God bless, like what we read earlier. And I hope you're getting a piece of the MCU and after sales, he wrote. Between them and DC Comics, like we read before, they are the only one that doesn't pay a royalty for overseas sales. Yeah, so we read that earlier before. So later on here, he also pointed out that the minimum page rates are not kept pace with inflation, stating, I asked Marvel for, like, I swear, 75 page raise for the last 15 years. That's a long time to be asking, man. I'd be fed up like probably after 2 years. So the minimum wage in California is doing better than them. This kind of lowballing is not only disrespectful, but also short-sighted, and it drives away top talent. No kidding, because nobody wants to pay, nobody wants to get paid peanuts, basically. So one of the most contentious points raised by Nigan is Marvel's refusal to pay royalty for overseas sales. He stated between I already read that. What am I doing? So so Nigan's frustration is echoed by other artists in the industry. For example, Sean Gordon Murphy shared his own negative experiences with Marvel, claiming he was blacklisted after a book at a convention without Marvel's approval. This highlights a culture of fear among artists who worry that speaking out could jeopardize their careers. Like young blood creator Liefeld also chimed in, adding, I'm sorry, I'll hire you for a cover and other work. Oh, well, how gracious of him. So Yannick Paquette, who has worked for several publishers, replied with, Marvel has been taking advantage of its almost monopolize of mainstream comic for years. Everybody pay me better for a cover. DC, Boom, Image, Dark Horse, Oni, some Joe starting a Kickstarter. Marvel is dead last. Dang. So why would you even want to work for Marvel? Just because they just happen to be a big name? Like everybody, this is the thing. Everybody is so entranced. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, because we're certainly not, especially on this channel. Because we've seen enough of the stuff that they're trying to push, whether in the comics or the movies. They're not as big as they used to think. So at this point, why would you even want to work for Marvel? Just because, maybe if you invent a character and it happens to fly with the fans, that it might be on a movie screen in the hopes that you're going to get huge, big, giant royalty checks. Why would you even want to be treated like that if you're going to end up getting paid so little? Rocco, aka Two Guys Talking, Neil Adams paid me to sign my Batman Ninja Turtle #1 cover. He told guy in front of me he needed practice on his art. So was nice about it, but he was cool, better than Mr. I Can't Draw Feet. Yes, I wonder who that could be.
Who indeed?
I can't imagine who. But But yeah, the issues raised by Nuggin are not isolated incidents, but rather indicative of a systematic problem within the comic book industry. So many artists have come forward to share their own experiences of being underpaid. Zori Thorogood recounted her experience of being paid only $100 for character design work. Dang! Even, you know what? I'm just going to say this. I have designed, I've done a few character designs for a few people, okay? One of them was actually a TV producer that did that Winona Earp TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably might have seen that floating around here and there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other one was because he wanted
female
to do
Van Helsing.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah,
that one too. Oh,
yeah.
and
And he was trying to pitch an animated show, and he put out basically like I was one of the ones that he had picked among I think 5 other people besides myself to do like a character design work for an animation pitch.
Yeah.
And and it was actually quite fun. So
imagine getting paid the same wages as like an extra though for creating something.
Yeah.
You get paid what an extra gets.
Yeah. And
if you get paid at all, because all this is when we're talking about creatives getting the shaft at big corporations, it was not too long ago that Alan Dean Foster was not getting paid what he was owed from Disney, and that was a big to do.
There you go. Yeah, you watched Winona Earp on Tubi the other day. There you go. So, but you know, and I've done other stuff for like for a comic that eventually I'm going to be doing with Raymond Feliciano, and you know, like when I was doing that, not for Raymond, but I'm talking about the other thing. Generally, I would charge like $300 for character creation, and that's Canadian. So, you know. So $100 from Marvel, like, dang, you're getting robbed. So, and again, which was later used as a cover without her consent, right? So to be fair, it was barely worth $100, but they certainly should have told her that they were going to use it as a cover, even if it was an afterthought. So even then, you should have paid her way more than just $100 because that's just robbery right there. Yeah. And the Wolfman's got nards. What? Hi, how's it going? I'm glad that you're new to the channel. Getting paid in the entertainment industry at any level is a pain. We run a puppet show in the UK and a few times have been kept waiting over 8 months. Whoa, dude. Luckily, there's a day job or the show would die. Dang.
Wow.
8 months?
It's like that in the general art industry. Let me just quickly speak on, like, as a photographer. It depends on who you're doing work for. Somebody can maybe spend, I hire $50 for a bunch of pictures for a whole 2 days, and then another person is $150 for just a day. So it depends on who. And I'm willing to give less price if it's a friend or helping somebody out. I don't mind. Okay. But these higher companies, no, they're not willing to spend the money for some reason, and it's like it's kind of, they don't see the appreciation of the hard work that actually goes into art, And I have friends that are painters, drawers such as you guys. I mean, people don't realize the work that goes into being a creator and an artist. And it's just it's
a travesty. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And Wolfman having to wait 8 months, dude. Or
that's messed up.
I don't know, because I don't know if you're a guy or a gal. And but I mean, 8 months. Oh man, I'd be starting to fume like after a month. I'd be like, yeah, dude, pay now, or else.
And also,
go ahead.
Because usually in some of these contracts, they'll state when you should get paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
right.
My contract with Warp Graphics, working on ElfQuest: Blood of 10 Chiefs, stated that I would get paid within 15 business days of me handing in the artwork.
Right.
Another thing is that I don't think these, and we're talking about publishers that are owned by huge companies. Disney owns Marvel Comics. Discovery owns, DC Entertainment, DC Comics.
Yep.
So there's got to be a reason why they don't want to fork over the money. And also, I don't think these publishers, Marvel and DC, I don't think they care about their talent. I don't think they care about retailers, talking to retailers. And I don't think they care about their readers. And they put out a lot of garbage. And also, I don't know, because my internet conked out on me again. I don't know if you touched on this at all, but if you're a young artist and you're a huge comics fan, the idea of drawing Spider-Man, maybe not Batman, or one of the characters you loved as a fan, no matter what you get paid, is probably a difficult thing to turn down, especially if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, you're following a dream, and I've taken things just to do a certain type of job. Like, okay, I want to do this. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Right. So while it is true that artists often do not own the copyrights of their works, the principle of royalties exists to ensure that creators receive a fair share of the profits generated from their creations. Right. Because they put the hard work into it, dreaming up something new, something that you haven't seen before, something that's eye-catching. So yeah, you should get a little bit of a piece of that pie, because that's you're giving a part of that intellectual property that's in your mind, and you're putting it on paper for essentially somebody else to use. So you should be paid fairly for that kind of thing. So many believe that artists need to band together to demand better compensation from publishers like Marvel and like DC, I would say also. As painter Jason Alexander pointed out, some artists are hesitant to ask for more money due to fear of being blacklisted, which perpetuates the cycle of underpayment. So Marvel's page rates have been a continuous issue for some time. And while the article says, while I believe that not every creator deserves the same compensation, quality and popularity should factor into pay scales. Yes, I do totally agree with that. So Marvel's approach has been pretty erogenous. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So we've consistently undervalued their artists, especially consider the billions generated by their intellectual property in other media. So true. So these allegations of creator exploitation go beyond mere financial concerns. The upcoming documentary, Stan Lee, The Final Chapter, paints a very disturbing picture of how even Marvel's most iconic figure was mistreated in his final years. The footage from the trailer is heartbreaking to watch. If someone of Stan Lee's stature could be subjugated to such treatment, it raises serious questions about how less prominent comic creators are handled. So true.
Can I comment on the Stan Lee thing?
Do it.
I saw that trailer.
Yeah.
Right, so I saw that trailer, and it made me go back and reread part of the book, True Believer, The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee, by Abraham Reisman, which is a bio on Stan Lee that came out like 2 years ago. It's like one of the best books I've ever read. It's really great. I do not have a whole lot of respect for Stan Lee. I think Stan Lee was a phony and a fraud and a thief. But he was treated quite poorly the last number of years in his life, but by the people that were around him, the people that were taking care of him, business associates, and two guys were arrested for elder abuse. So he was treated quite poorly, and his daughter was probably not doing nice things to him either.
That's what I heard.
As far as Marvel goes, I don't think. The only problem I ever saw Stan Lee complain about in regards to Marvel, I think, was concerning some royalties from the Spider-Man movies when they first came out. But then he renegotiated his contract with Marvel, and then everything worked out fine. But the people around Stan Lee in his later years, especially after his wife Joan died, were treated him really, really terribly. It's awful. So it's like one of the last chapters in True Believer, The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee. Great book.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not defending everything that Stan Lee did. Yeah, there were some things that shady is not the word, but there were artists. Let's just put it this way: there were artists that were butting head with Stan Lee, right? Because Stan Lee definitely wanted done his way, while other artists were saying like, no, Stan, this is the way it should be done. And I suppose somehow out of it came the Marvel method out of it all. And there are both sides to the story. Yeah, I know Stan didn't exactly treat everybody like gold, and what we saw on the movies was definitely the Stan that that we all knew, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he was the DJ, like Jack was the one that made the music, and Stan was the DJ that played it, right? And I mean, still miss them both, but you can definitely. Oh no, go ahead.
I didn't know if anyone else wanted to chime in on this Stanley topic or not. All right, so there. Okay. So another great book to get is it's by Tomorrow's Publishing. It's called I think it's Stuff Said. I think it's called Kirby Lee Stuff Said, which gives a chronological account of various different creators working with Stan Lee, and quotes by people like Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby and Wally Wood. And they had very not so nice things to say about working with Stan Lee. And you got to keep in mind that, Stan Lee started working for his cousin's company, Timely Comics, back in the late 1930s. And all these great characters were created, other than Captain America, which Stan Lee had nothing to do with. All these great characters that are in these Marvel movies were mostly created in the 60s when Stan Lee was working with people like Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that's true. There were, I mean, don't fool yourself, guys. There were some butting of heads that were going on inside Marvel with Stan Lee and other artists. Yeah, we're all used to, nice, happy, Excelsior, kind of Stan Lee, and I get that, because he was the face of Marvel, and I do get that, and I was sad to see him go, just like a lot of people were. But, I mean, there were dark things that also was happening behind the veiled curtain, because there was an interview that I published here on YouTube a couple of years ago. What was it? The 1978 San Diego Comic-Con, and I think it was actually Will Eisner that actually said something to Stan Lee about paying the creators their fair due.
Yeah.
Because you know which one I'm talking about?
I do. So I didn't see the video you posted. Was that because Will did release a press release in regards to the return of Jack Kirby's artwork back in the mid 1980s. Was that what you're referring to?
No, because this is back in the 70s that happened.
Oh, I don't know. It's weird. Another reason why because I used to be a huge Stan Lee fan and a Jack Kirby fan at the same time. But then when I started researching this stuff, I became disillusioned with all these myths about Stan Lee. In regards to Will, like they knew each other. Like Will and Stan Lee knew each other pretty well. I mean, there was like a 6 or 7 year age difference between the two men, but they both grew up in the Bronx. They went to the same high school, not at the same time. And they had a working relationship. In fact, when Stan Lee wanted to leave Marvel back in the early 70s and go to Hollywood, because Stan Lee really didn't care about comics, the new owner of Marvel wouldn't let Stan Lee move to California unless Stan Lee found his own replacement. And he had Will come into the offices trying to convince Will to replace Stan Lee. And then they met with Stan Lee's boss, not Martin Goodman. He was gone by that time. And then they asked Will what Will would do if he was, the new publisher or editor-in-chief at Marvel. And Will's like, well, I would return artwork and give, get rid of work made for hire. And they weren't going to let that fly. But also Will didn't like superheroes. So Will had a long history with Stan Lee, and they used to be on panels together and stuff. And Stan Lee even interviewed Will in his documentary series that came out in the early 90s.
Yeah.
A great video to watch, by the way.
Vince Womack says, yeah, he co-created them like Gene Roddenberry co-created the theme music to Star Trek because he wrote lyrics that never got used, so he still took 50% of the royalties.
Well, see, that's the thing, because I have audio of Kirby explaining exactly how things work. And there was also a radio interview, which you can find online too. And I can't remember the radio station that was interviewing Kirby at the time. It was for Jack Kirby's birthday, and it was like in the early 80s. And Stan Lee called the radio station, and they put him on air with Kirby, and they started arguing about this stuff.
No way.
Absolutely. You should watch it. It is online. And Kirby said that Kirby said that Stan Lee wrote the credits. Like, no one wrote his stories, Jack Kirby's stories, but Stan Lee wrote the credits.
Wow. Dang, that's interesting.
Look that up. It's really good. It's good stuff.
Okay. Let's see. The Wolfman's Got Nard says, well, I'm going to have to Google those lyrics. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to actually find that. So, don't get me wrong, folks. Like, I'm not dumping on Stan Lee whatsoever. I'm well, okay, fine, you do that. But because like I said, I mean, he was technically the face of Marvel, but like I also said, there's stuff that goes behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, right? So, I just remember him, showing up on various cartoons, as a kid or in a comic or even in a video game. And, and when the Marvel movies came out, all my kids were like, I wonder where Stan Lee's going to be in a cameo in the next Marvel movie.
He was like the face of Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was. And I mean, I will give him that. But I will say also, a lot of these other creators should have an equal spotlight like Stan has.
Well, I go in and I always bring this up too. One of my favorite comics is from Image, Todd, and then there was the infamous thing with him and Neil Gaiman that they battled over Angela and a few other characters, and that's why Angela is owned by Marvel now, because he's like, no, I had the rights to her. So it's like, what? So I mean, there's so many things that go on within the industry itself. It's just it's yeah. So
yeah,
I mean,
it's the stuff that we don't know about. So
yeah,
it's interesting. It's very interesting history. So, but seeing how a little over the 2-hour mark, we usually do a cartoon on Fridays to end it all, to have a good laugh. Woo-hoo. And Wolfman's Got Nerds. Wow, he's like typing up a storm here. Let's see. Star Woman, beyond the rim of a starlight, my lover's wandering star in flight. I know he'll find in star clustered reaches, love strange, love a star woman teach. Wow, he's writing out the whole lyrics. I know his journey ends never. His Star Trek will go on forever. But tell him
copy and paste is pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I know that's true. Yeah. While he wanders his starry sea, remember me. So, to the tune of Star Trek. Oh, well, then I should have done that. So, anybody going to check out Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob? I'm going to have to check that out sometime. I knew that was a thing. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's Friday and it's cartoon time. And so last couple of weeks, we've been showing some interesting little cartoon adaptations to real movie scripts. So to everyone out there, before we do go, enjoy the cartoon.
We're closing in on them, sir. In less than a minute, Lone Star will be ours.
Good. Prepare to attack.
Was that your walking?
It's my Walking Dead.
Prepare to attack.
On the count of 3, 1, 2.
Wait!
What happened? Where are they?
I don't know, sir. They must have hyperjets on that thing.
And what have we got on this thing? A Cuisinart?
No, sir.
Well, find them. Catch them.
Yes, sir. Prepare ship for light speed.
No. Light speed is too slow.
Light speed? Too slow?
Yeah, CJ's gonna pee himself. We're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. It's a funny comedy joke.
Yes, comedy? What is this filthy comedy you speak up, fool?
You said ludicrous speed down here.
Oh, I said ludicrous. Hey. Ludicrous speed?
Yeah.
Sir, we've never gone that fast before.
Wait a minute, what? You're 80. You're almost 80, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Say, I think Billy's gonna take over here.
Great. Here's Billy.
Ludicrous speed? Sir, we've never gone that fast before. I don't know if this ship can take it.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
I like chicken. Yeah. Prepare ship. Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts. Seal all entrance and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Cancel the 3-ring circus. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Give me that. Well, you petty excuse for an officer. Now hear this. Ludicrous speed.
Sir, hadn't you better buckle up?
Buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go.
What the hell was that?
Whoa, what have I done? My brains are going into my feet. We passed them. Stop this thing.
We can't stop. It's too dangerous. We have to slow down first.
Bullshit. Stop this thing. I order you. Stop.
You used a naughty word. You said bullshit. Are you all right, sir?
Fine. How have you been?
Fine, sir.
Good.
It's a good thing you were wearing that helmet, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, what should we do now, sir?
Well, are we stopped?
We're stopped, sir.
Good. Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Very good, sir.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
If you got 'em, smoke 'em.
Jesus Christ. That's just like people are having so much fun over there. Richie Horvitz.
And there you go. There's your cartoon.
Everybody loves him and Gerson.
I know. I picked that one for Appian because it was walking. You know.
That's better.
It is.
Yes, it is. It is. Now I can't unsee Christopher Walken as like Dark Helmet now. Oh man.
Your tone, it's all wrong. You do it again.
I wonder if we should do a reading of Spaceballs at some point in the future. That'd be awesome. Oh man. Appian gets to be Dark Helmet though. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You know, you can't go over my helmet. Really big.
Huge
even.
Oh man. Well, that's pretty much it for this show. So it was a pretty good show, and to everybody that happens to be here. We do have descriptions on the bottom there for magazines such as Flip City Magazine, If you want to go ahead and check out their Flip City mag and their free issue, you just have to go over to their website, flipcitymag.com. Check out their free issue, and if you happen to like what they have, then you can go ahead and use the coupon code CRC for 10% off of their subscription for an entire year. And won't that be the gift that keeps on giving? So there you go, Flip City Magazine. And I think that's it. It's pretty much it.
Wait, no. There's somebody in the room.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, we had a guest, didn't we? Yeah, I know, right? Socially awkward. So, yeah, I know. Al Nickerson, you want to... Before I get flogged.
Shame.
I know.
Shame.
Shame. Al Nickerson,
Shame.
seeing how you're here, and I am a ignoramus, I know. You want to go ahead and talk about your comic?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So you can purchase the Sword of Eden graphic novel and the Sword of Eden Shinobi graphic novel at theswordofeden.com, where all the books will be signed. And if you like action superhero comics and graphic novels with very strong Christian themes, you'll find that with the Sword of Eden. And I know Mike has read the books, so that made me very happy. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's creator owned, it's self-published, and it's me making the kind of comics that I would like to read myself. So it's about yeah. So there you go. Not so it's very very, you know, pro-American, very conservative, has very strong Christian themes in it, and it's fun action adventure superhero stuff.
America.
I think that's cool. There you go.
Totally American. Oh, you want to give the fans out there maybe a little bit of a hint of how much you've done on issue 3?
That'd be funny if he just says no.
No.
That'd be real awkward, wouldn't it?
No. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've been vocal. Yeah, I've been sharing online on social media, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. So I am working on the Sword of Eden Volume 3. It's called The Sword of Eden Cry Vampire, where we see the return of Count Orlok, who is the vampire from the... That's weird, just seeing me on screen like that. From the Nosferatu film from 1921, 22. Vampires make good villains. They shouldn't be heroes. And yeah, so... our heroes actually fight Count Orlok a little bit in the Sword of Eden Volume 1, and yes, Volume 3 that I'm working on now, Count Orlok comes back, and we also see more of Dareduk in Volume 3 as well.
Yeah,
right
on. I gotta say, I'm loving those pages so far, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
They look so good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, and Tom, do you got anything you want to say?
No, not Sydney Sweeney. But let's see what else. Just like I said, just working on my photo book, and I know you can have her. I'll take cruds. Or Aurora. No, I'm doing my photo book, getting that done, and as you notice, I've been doing a lot of gaming, getting that back up on the channel again. Still got to do a show with my Jessica, but I'm trying to get the Days Gone with the release of the expansion coming out. I think it's next month, actually. I figured let's go back and finish it for like a 6th time, and I've been able to do some Let's Plays, if anybody remembers those. They're not streams because I don't really have the time to do it yet in the setup, so I figured I'll just record them, and then I've been passing those out at least once every 2 days, 3 days, and I'm just enjoying being back in the world and playing that game again. So, and that's about it. Like I said, just trying to get my career started with photography. I'm hoping to do more this summer, getting individual prints and a few other things, and then I might have some other side projects on the go, and for movies. So wait and see. That's about all I can say right now.
Right on, dude. Right on. And Mr. Apion.
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it thanks to Vince Womack. Click on that link and you can see videos of me and other people watching movies and talking about them and doing loud ass commentary so you can barely hear the movie you're watching. But we watch a movie. It's there. There's subtitles because you can't hear it. But it's there. We watch Farscape every Sunday on my channel, 6 p.m. Be there if you want to watch 3 episodes of Farscape with me. Pop Culture Republic is there. Connor Burton and a guy named the Padawannabe. Some guy I don't know. He's a Padawannabe. But yeah, he's there.
Those subtitles.
Yeah. And then I have 2 guys talking, me and Rocco, the guy that was here in the chat. We run another channel where we make little video reviews. We're talking about Daredevil Born Again right now and other stuff in the future. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I boring you?
No, it's such a good show. I'm enjoying the Daredevil too.
Yawn with your yawn through my.
No, that was an ooh. That was an ooh.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you are. I am really mad right now. No,
that was an ooh, like an
it wasn't the timing of that yawn. I know. I just
or watch this channel. I'm using my voice to type or and share.
Oh God.
Oh man. And pop culture.
Oh yes. Yes. My channel where I talk about all things pop culture related. Yes. Subscribe to me. I'm dull. I have people yawning. Yes. Next week, I'm hoping to get back into some kind of live streaming schedule because things have been hectic for me. When I do live stream, I talk about things I enjoy: movies, TV shows, anime, comic books, K-dramas, people yawning in the background.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's great. Subscribe to me. I'm boring.
What a sales pitch.
That's it. That's me in a nutshell, man.
We should get you a job at Disney.
Listen to my live stream.
We need more people like you on our team. You've got the right attitude.
Oh man.
I tell you what. I think that about does it for me.
Oh,
like, don't you yawn again.
But I'm going to tell you what. Let me step in here. I'm going to take it. I'm a fast talker. You know what doesn't make you yawn? You know what doesn't? You can't yawn it at all. This
Sydney
channel.
Sweeney? Oh.
Well, okay, yeah, I definitely would not yawn her a bit. But besides her, wait, no. I swear I'm not a simp. It's this channel and this gentleman who puts on this channel at all times. The man is also an amazing graphic designer, as you can see there at the link. Thank you, Vince, for that. Good timing. Very talented. Check him out. Get hold of him for his graphic design. The man is good and at fair prices as well. And this is coming from another fellow graphic designer. And don't forget, he also has a store. The man, yes, and he's also on X, so you can easily contact him there. And the man has a store with lots of good paintings and, well, not painting, they're posters and they're amazing. I got to get those Transformers ones. T-shirts, What Would Kirk Do? And so many other amazing stuff. I still want that Thanos mug too. Gosh, I'm going to get that. That's just cool. There's so many great items available over there. And again, this channel, let's just give it the love it needs and it deserves. Don't forget
Mike,
to like,
can you
subscribe, and
can you
share.
install a yawn in your soundboard so that you have a yawn sound you can play when, like, you know how like at the award show when they like do the wrap it up music and
okay.
Like,
I'll try.
The yawn button.
Just
I'm gonna do that for myself.
I'll try to do that.
Oh God, sorry.
That's right.
It's really dull.
The show that makes it look like it's entertaining, where we try to make it look like we're putting effort into it, but in reality, we're all wearing our underwear, really doing nothing at all.
Didn't I actually pass out during one episode halfway through?
You did. You fell asleep.
I did.
Nobody would have known.
I know, right? Meanwhile, I'm in my seat wondering,
that to our
Tom
grave.
is like really, really quiet for some reason. Like, oh, I'm sorry, the show's over. I fell asleep. Like
A faint snoring noise in the background.
like
Snorlax from Pokemon is there. Like,
right. It's like why are you even
As long as I'm living here, it is.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
Goddamn right.
Oh, wake up call.
I know. So the show that you thought was lame, but not really lame, but we try to make it as lamely entertaining as possible. So okay. Yeah, just like that. So everybody subscribe to these fine, extremely boring gentlemen here, as they're part of this extremely boring show, and check out all their entertainment for what it is. And check out
if you want to call it that. I mean, that's generous.
I know, because
You've got to do better, Senator.
Oh yeah, he had a movie come out.
Yeah, I think that
that's
every
right.
day. I gotta do better.
So, and check out Al's page on Facebook there, and check out some of the artwork there, because issue 3 is coming, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by what goes on in that issue, because I'm not going to spoil anything, because mostly I really don't know much of anything about the plot line, except there's a duck in it and other stuff. So,
and a vampire.
And a vampire, yes.
And vampire, yeah.
Do you need to know anything else? I mean, that's all you need.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Give me 2 tickets, please.
Do you want to know more? So, well, then that's why you had to subscribe. So to everybody out there, have a fun weekend. Have a safe weekend. And Dark Helmet and Wendy, stay safe, you two, for what's going on in your neck of the woods. And we will see you Tuesday on the Titillating Tuesday. And thank you everybody for joining in. Really appreciate all of you guys. And yes, well, sometimes
I go commando. I love that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie so much. I live by it.
So to everybody out there,
be excellent to each other and